Good evening and welcome to Staunton, Virginia for the very first game of round one in the Valley League South playoffs. Staunton Braves are going to host the Charlottesville TomSox here tonight as we start off with the starting lineup for the away Charlottesville TomSox. We have Xavier McCory starting us off, followed by Grayson McCullum. Then Tommy Lansness will bat third, so that rounds up the schedule batters for the first inning coming up here shortly. Followed, that is going to be Caden Combs, Aiden Harris, Harrison Compy, Christian Dewey, Dom Catarillo, and Lucas Ream will round out the starting lineup for the Charlottesville TomSox. And now for your Staunton Braves. The defensive lineup, we are going to have Cole Softg behind the plate catching. Keegan Hasler is on over at first. Caleb Williams is at second. Jake Merrick rounds out the bases at third. Max Lawson is in short. Cooper Mars is over in left field. Jose Vasquez is patrolling center. And Brody Melton will round it all out over in right field. On the mound for the Braves, making his first start from Pitt Bradford, number 23, Colin Porter. Porter has a 0.00 ERA, making his second appearance, first start, and has gone 3.1 innings. And now Xavier McCory will step in as the first batter that Porter will face. McCory batting .241 on the season, a .442 on base percentage, 1 homer, and 15 RBIs. And the first pitch swung on and fouled back. Strike one. And that is how the playoffs will get started between the Staunton Braves and Charlottesville TomSox. Again, these two teams have met plenty of times during the regular season, as Staunton will end the season 22-14, Charlottesville 19-17. But the record does not reflect how these two teams have played together, as Charlottesville took 4 of the 6 meetings, with Staunton winning 2. And we now get a 1-2 count here. So again, Xavier McCory is on over in the batter's box. Gets set for the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. That'll be grounded. Fielded by Williams. Throws on over to Hasler at first for outs number 1. So with that, that'll bring up Grayson McCullum.
Now batting the third baseman, number 27,
Grayson McCullum. Currently batting at .297 on the season. 404 on-base percentage, no homers, and 24 RBIs. First pitch will be outside for ball 1. So again, this has been a tough team for the Braves to beat, as that will be fielded by Hasler. Takes it to the bag himself for outs number 2. So a couple quick ground outs. Now bring up Tommy Lansness.
Number 24, Tommy Lansness.
Lansness batting .278 on the season, a .406 on-base percentage, 1 homer, and 22 RBIs. And the first pitch inside ball 1 to Lansness. So we're now getting set for a 1-0 pitch. Porter trying to get out of the inning in a 1-2-3 fashion. Gets strike 1. And now 1-1 pitch coming on the way to Porter. As the 1-1 pitch on the way. Misses ball 2. So that gives us now a 2-1 count with 2 outs. A couple ground outs so far. As Porter kicks and delivers. Did not go, ball 3. So we now have a 3-1 count. Again, Porter put the first 2 down quickly. And now the 3-1 pitch to Lansness will be fouled straight back for strike 2. And now a payoff pitch coming on the way. Again, here we are, game 1 of the Valley League playoffs between the Braves and the TomSox. And we get a 2-out walk. So with that walk, that'll bring up the cleanup hitter.
How about your first baseman?
Caden Combs.
Caden Combs.
Combs currently batting .278, has a .450 on-base percentage, 3 homers, and 20 RBIs. And will face Porter with Lansness on over at first. And the first pitch swung on and fouled. So now a 0-1 pitch coming on the way. Again, Tommy Lansness is on over at first. Caden Combs trying to put the TomSox up early and keep this first inning going. That pitch outside, ball 1. So that now gives us a 1-1 count with 2 outs. Again, the last time these two teams faced, the TomSox took a quick 7-0 lead before the Braves were able to claw back in. Took the lead for a bit as we get a swing tipped foul. So now we get a 1-2 count. But still, going back to the last time they met, TomSox did take the lead for a little bit, gave it up, but were able to end up winning it in the 9th after some fantastic 2-out hitting. And right now they're looking to redo it. Braves trying to turn around the season narrative against Charlottesville. And now the 1-2 pitch, high, ball 2. As we now get a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Again, this is a best of 3. So tomorrow they will play on over in Charlottesville. And the 2-2 pitch on the way, high, ball 3. So we now have a full count pitch. Porter trying to put an end to the inning. Combs trying to extend it. As Porter takes a quick glance back to Lansness, who's going to probably be on the run on the pitch. And he does run. That'll be fouled back. So we'll redo the payoff pitch. Lansness will head on back to first. Again, so far, Xavier McCory grounded out to second. Grayson McCullum grounded out to first. And now Tommy Lansness walks on over at first, and Caden Combs, payoff pitch, outside, ball 4. So now runners on first and second with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Aiden Harris.
Designated hitter.
Harris, the designated hitter tonight. Currently batting .310, a .453 on-base percentage, 2 homers, and 12 RBIs. And has a good opportunity to add to his RBI with a runner on over in second in Lansness. That pitch high, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-0 count with 2 outs here. Still top of the first. Both teams right now looking to take game one. And that pitch inside ball 2. So that'll give us a 2-0 count. As again, Porter will now get set. Lands this on over at second. That pitch in there. Strike 1. And it is now a 2-1 count to Harris. And again, that is Lansness at second. And it combs over at first. As the 2-1 pitch coming on the way. That's going to be hit high. See if a play can be made. And great play there by Soft G to get the out. And the inning is over. So the TomSox score no runs off no hits. No errors were made. And 2 were left on base. Coming up after this quick break, the starting lineup for your Staunton Braves, as well as the defensive lineup for the TomSox. And welcome back here in Staunton, Virginia. Here we are in the bottom of the second with round 1 of the Valley League
Braves, Jose Vasquez.
playoffs. Leading off, Jose Vasquez. Again, we have Vasquez leading off, batting .285, .406 on base percentage, 2 homers, and 25 RBIs as he looks at strike 1. But rounding out the rest of the starting lineup, we have Max Lawson second, Brody Melton bats third to round out everyone's scheduled, followed by Jake Merrick, Julian Braga, Cooper Mars, Keegan Hasler, Caleb Williams, and Cole Soft G is going to round out the starting lineup for the Braves. Right now, Vasquez is facing a 1-1 count, and that will be a soft fly ball heading into center field, where the catch will be made by Tommy Lansness for out number 1. So that'll bring up Max Lawson.
Now batting Max Lawson.
Lawson batting .269, a .424 on base percentage, no homers, 12 RBIs. And now the defensive lineup. We have Dom Cattarello catching. Caden Combs on over at first. Harrison Compy is going to be at second as we get a swing and miss. Grayson McCullum rounds out the bases over at third, with Xavier McCory finishing the infield at shortstop. Now for the outfield, we have Lucas Ream in left, Tommy Lansness in center, and Christian Dewey rounds it out as we get another fly ball, and that time Dewey will make the catch for out number 2. So back-to-back flyouts. That'll bring up Brody Melton.
Now batting number 18,
Brody Melton currently batting at .262 on the season, a .361 on-base percentage. And again, he is leading the team in homers as we get strike 1. As the 0-1 pitch coming on the way, that'll be swung on and missed for strike 2. Seven homers and 30 RBIs will round out Melton's stat. Lucas Cash is on the mound for the TomSox as we get ball 1. Lucas. It's Cash will get set for the 1-2 pitch on the way. That'll be fouled, so we'll redo the 1-2 count. Cash currently has a 3.99 ERA, making his 9th appearance and 9th start, and has gone 38.1 innings. So the 1-2 pitch to Melton, that'll be hit foul for a repeat of the 1-2 count. As right now, according to my sheet, Lucas Cash is attending at Bridgewater College. And now we'll get set. The 1-2 pitch on the way. That'll go into fair territory. Melton with the base hit. And he's going to thought about heading for 2, but we'll keep that to a single. And now with 2 outs, Braves are on the bases. And with that, that brings up Jake Merrick. Merrick currently batting .291 on the season, a .480 on-base percentage, 2 homers, and 10 RBIs. And now faces Cash with 2 outs, and Brody Melton on over at first. The first pitch will be swung on and missed for strike 1. So we now have an 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Merrick. As Cash will take a quick glance on over. And now delivers the 0-1 pitch. That'll be hit foul for strike 2. So now Merrick faces an 0-2 count with 2 outs here. Right now, Cash looking to just keep it to the 1 hit. And Merrick trying to advance the runner. That pitch will be hit fouled straight back to repeat the 0-2 pitch. Still, Cash with an 0-2 count has everything at his disposal to try and get the punch out. And now Cash gets set and delivers the 0-2 pitch. That'll be away in the dirt for ball 1. So now we have a 1-2 pitch coming on the way here in game 1. And Cash took a quick glance. Now gets set and delivers. 1-2 pitch, swung on, missed, strike 3, and Cash rings up Merrick for out number 3. And that is how the first inning comes to an end. So Braves scored no runs off 1 hit, no errors were made, and 1 was left on base. Coming up next, the top of the second, where we will have scheduled Harrison Compy, Christian Dewey, and Dom Catarillo after this quick break. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia here. And the top of the second, still tied at 0 apiece. Leading off for the TomSox, number 1, Harrison Compy. Compy is currently batting .333 on the season. As we get a first pitch ball, it looked like. Again, Compy is batting .333, 543 on base percentage, 2 homers, 543 no homers, and 7 RBIs. As that pitch does miss ball 2. And we now have a 2-0 count coming on the way. And Porter delivers, swung on, that'll go into left field, base hit. And that is the first hit that the TomSox have tonight. And with that, that brings up right fielder number 21, Christian Dewey. Dewey batting .143 on the season, has .304 on base percentage, no homers, and 3 RBIs. And he faces Porter for the first time tonight. And the first pitch swung on. That'll be lifted into straightaway right field. Mountain retreats a little bit, but makes the catch for outs number 1. And with that, that brings up Dom Catarillo.
Dom Catarillo.
Catarillo currently batting .212 on the season, has a .423 on base percentage, 1 homer, and 6 RBIs. And the first pitch will be outside, ball, runner on the move, and no play will be made, as that does allow Compy to move on over, or Compy to move on over to second. So that pitch looked to come inside and hit Soft G in the chest protector. Sort of made a odd deflection. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there, strike 1 called. And now we have a 1-1 count coming on the way to the TomSox catcher. And we are getting a quick time ball change. And again, we do have runner on over at second in Compy. And now Porter getting the call and will get set, glances back, and delivers. 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll go into right field. Base hit. Compy will round or stay on over at third. And that gives us runners at the corners with 1 out. So with that, that brings up the number 9 hitter, Lucas Ream. Ream currently batting .253, has a .323 on-base percentage, 3 homers, and 15 RBIs. And now, Porter will now get set and delivers. First pitch to Ream outside, ball 1. So, first inning, after a couple quick ground outs, Porter ended up walking a couple TomSox. And now the 1-0 pitch in there, strike 1. And now ground out could get us out of the inning with the potential of a double play. But Porter trying to leave little to chance. And now the 1-1 pitch on the way. In there, strike 2. And now a 1-2 pitch coming on the way with 1 out here in the top of the second. As Colin Porter will get set and kicks, delivers, swung on, fouled. So we will repeat the 1-2 count. So far we have Campion over at first with Catarillo on over at first. Lucas Ream trying to add to his RBI total. As Porter will now get set. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. That's outside, ball 2. So we now have a 2-2 count coming on the way with 1 out here. And Porter, he gets set and delivers. 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on. That'll be foul. So that'll let Catarillo head on back to first as Compy stayed on over at third. And now Porter trying to get the put out, maybe a double play if possible. And the 2-2 pitch on the way, outside, ball 3. So we now have a full count pitch coming on the way. Again, Porter trying to prevent a bases loaded situation now. Glances on over to Catarillo at first. And now delivers. Swung on, fouled straight back. And we'll have a second payoff pitch on the way. Again, Ream currently the number 9 batter with McCory on deck. As Porter will now get set and delivers. High, ball 4, so that gives us a bases loaded with 1 out here in the top of the second. And we're going to have a quick mound visit. And again, with that walk, that does turn the lineup over. Xavier McCory will be at bat. Number 54, Xavier McCory, tending Liberty according to my sheet, and is currently 0 for 1 tonight. And now, with that, the mound visit does disperse. And right now, Porter trying to get out of this inning. A ground ball could do it with a double play. But it would have to be on the infield, probably to either shortstop or second. And right now, Porter delivers. First pitch to McCory, and there, strike 1. And that gives us an 0-1 count. And now Porter will get set with bases loaded, 1 out. The 0-1 pitch coming on the way outside, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-1 count with 1 out here. In the top of the second, as Porter will now kick and deliver. The 1-1 pitch on the way. That misses, ball 2. So we now have a 2-1 pitch coming on the way. With 1 out. As Porter will now kick and deliver. Swung on, missed, strike 2. And now Porter is currently 1 strike away from getting the second out. And that would be big. As Porter will now get set, kicks, delivers, 2-2 pitch. Just misses, ball 3. And now we have a full count pitch. Porter trying to keep this a 0-0 game, but also trying to put McCory out. And the payoff pitch coming on the way. Did not swing, ball 4, so that will walk home a run. And with that, it is now 0-1 in favor of the TomSox. And that brings up Grayson McCullum. McCullum 0 for 1 tonight. Grounded out to first. And according to my sheet, currently attending Kennesaw State as he pops up the first pitch into foul territory for out number 2. So with that, that brings up Tommy Lansness. Lansness, number 24, according to the sheet, attending Ball State, and is currently a 0 for 0 since he walked his last time up. First pitch will be inside of ball 1. And we now have a 1-0 pitch coming on the way with 2 outs here. Porter trying to keep this a 1-run game. And home plate umpire walked the ball out to Porter for ball change. And it looks like he was talking to the Braves bullpen there on the way back, trying to calm them down. The 1-0 pitch swung on, and that is fouled back for strike 1. And now Porter in a 1-1 count with 2 outs. As Porter will get set. And the 1-1 pitch coming to Lansness. That'll be inside ball 2. Sovji getting in the way of it. That gives us a 2-1 count here. And now Porter delivers. That's outside ball 3. So now we have a 3-1 count coming on the way. And so far, only 1 run has come across due to a walk. That pitch will be swung on and hit foul. So that gives us a full count pitch and a chance for Porter to try and strike out the side. Again, so far, TomSox have gotten a couple hits and a couple walks. And now Porter, runners on the move. That'll be a hit going into right field. And they're going to say fair, and it goes into the bushes, so that'll allow want to say 3 runs coming across. And now Coach Loss having the first place umpire have a quick word. Going to see if he can get the call reversed. As it stands, 3 runs have come across to make it 4-0. And it does look like it will stand, so with that, it's a ground rule double. And
No, they were freaking asleep to switch.
actually, it'll be 2 runs come across, and they're going to have a runner head on over to back to third. So it is now 3-0 with runners on second and third. Runner on second is Tommy Lansness. Runner on third will be Xavier McCory. And Porter will now face Caden Combs with 0 for 0 with a walk. And now the first pitch to Combs will be hit foul for strike 1. And now we have an 0-1 count coming on the way with 2 outs. So Porter gets set, the 0-1 pitch on the way. That is outside of ball 1. As we now have a 1-1 pitch coming with 2 outs. Again, this is game 1 of a 3-game series. Game 2 will be tomorrow in Charlottesville. That pitch will be hit foul, strike 2, and going to walk a ball out. And we're going to make sure Cole Softg is okay after it seemed he took a brunt of that hit. Caden Combs is currently attending Auburn according to my roster sheet. And he gets set for a 1-2 count. And now a 1-2 pitch coming as the Porter tries to get out of this inning. The 1-2 pitch. That misses inside of ball 2. So that gives us a 2-2 count. And now Porter with the 2-2 pitch on the way. That is in the dirt, ball 3. And now we have a full count pitch. Right now, the TomSox have scored 3 runs off only 2 hits. 3 hits, as you do have the ground rule double. And now Porter, the full count pitch on the way outside ball 4, and that will load the bases again. So with that, that'll bring up Aiden Harris.
Now batting Aiden
Number
Harris.
44. Attending Virginia Commonwealth University. And is currently in an 0-1 tonight. Flew out to the catchers last time up in the first pitch. That'll be sent going into left field, and it will land. 1 run will come across, and the second run, and we get a 2-run double to give us runners at second and third, and it is now 5-0. And that brings up number 1, Harrison Campy. Campy.
Now batting Harrison Campy.
Attending Wofford. And the first pitch misses, ball one. So what looked to be a promising start for Porter, getting a couple ground outs. Then had a couple walks, but managed to get out of the inning. And the first has quickly blossomed here in the second to a 5-run. And the TomSox are giving the Braves a hard time getting out of this inning as we get ball 3. And now we have a 3-0 count coming to Campy. Again, he did single his last time up. And now the 3-0 pitch. That's in there. Strike one. And we'll see if that can turn around Porter's second inning. As now Porter will get set. 3-1 pitch. Strike two called. And after 3 balls, he gets back-to-back strikes called. And is 1 strike away from getting out of this monstrous TomSox inning. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Strike 3 caught, and Campy's down looking. And with that, the inning is over. So the TomSox score 5 runs off 4 hits. No errors were made, and 2 were left on base. Coming up next, the home half of the second. Braves look to claw back in with Braga, Mars, Hasler, Duop in the bottom of the second after this break. And welcome back to Staunton, Virginia here, where the TomSox currently lead it 5-0. Due up first, we're going to have number 5, Julian Braga, designated hitter tonight.
Leading off for the Braves.
Braga currently batting .269 on the season, has a .408 on-base percentage, 6 homers, and 24 RBIs. As right now, Lucas Cash making his second inning of work. That pitch will be hit high, foul. So that'll give us an 0-1 count. So we have an 0-1 pitch coming on the way. That will go heading high, far deep into right field. And it is gone! Solo home run, Julian Braga. And the Braves are on the board with a swing of the bat. And that is home run team tying number 7. Here on the bottom of the second, it is now 1-5. And we'll see if that momentum can help bring the Braves back. And with that, that'll bring up number 38, Cooper Mars. Mars batting .333 on the season, has a .451 on-base percentage, no homers, and 7 RBIs. As we currently have coach loss. I just had a quick word.
Now batting, Cooper Mars.
No idea what that was about, but it doesn't change currently who's at bat, which is Cooper Mars trying to build off that solo shot from Julian Braga. And that pitch is in there for strike one. So we now have an 0-1 count coming to Mars. And the 0-1 pitch, that'll be hit. Fielded by the third baseman McCullum, throws on over to first in time for out number one, as that was McCullum to Combs, and that's the first out of the inning.
Now batting first baseman.
That brings up Keegan Hasler. Hasler currently batting .278 on the season, a .435 on base percentage, 1 homer, and 17 RBIs. And we'll face Lucas Cash with 1 out here and no one on base. And the first pitch swung on and missed for strike one. So we now have an 0-1 count coming on the way with 1 out. And the 0-1 pitch. That's fouled straight back to give us strike two. And we have an 0-2 count. Now coming to Hasler. Again, Braves trying to extend on that momentum they got from the Julian Braga solo shot to start the second. That pitch outside, ball one. And that gives us now a 1-2 count. And the 1-2 pitch coming to Hasler. That is going to go into right center field and drops, base hit. And now a runner on base after that Keegan Hasler single. And that brings up Caleb Williams, number 10.
Now batting number 10, Caleb Williams.
Williams currently batting .289 on the season, a .432 on base percentage, 4 homers and 8 RBIs. And the first pitch will be a ball. So that gives us a 1-0 count coming to Williams. Again, Hasler on over at first. And the 1-0 pitch swung on well outside for strike one. So that now gives us a 1-1 count with 1 out here. Right now, Lucas Cash has gone 1 1/3 of an inning, giving up only the 1 run. And there's going to be a pickoff move as Hasler able to get back. And a 1-1 pitch coming on the way to Williams. And that pitch will go foul. And we now have the 1-2 pitch coming with 1 out. Braves trying to extend this inning, try to continue to claw back like they did the last time when they saw themselves down 7-0. And now the 1-2 pitch. Ball call, throw on over. Got him. What a throw there for outs number 2, but it does give us a ball. So Hasler will get thrown out by Catarello on a fantastic throw. And now a 2-2 pitch with no one on base for Williams. That pitch will go fielded by McCullum, throw on over in time for out number 3. And that's how the inning will end. So with that, It is now 1-5 off the Julian Braga solo shot. Something that he can brag about. And with that, though, the Braves did score that 1 run off the 2 hits. No errors were made, and no one was left on base. Coming up next, top of the 3rd, Braves look to keep this a 4-run game, and the TomSox look to extend their lead. After this quick break, as it also looks like there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Braves. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia, where currently it is 5-1 in favor of the TomSox. New pitcher on the mound from St. John's, number 44, Nick Romer. Romer making his 9th appearance, has gone 9.2 innings and has a 2.79 ERA. And the first batter he will face is Christian Dewey.
Now pitching for the Braves, Nick
Dewey
Romer,
did
leads off the
fly
TomSox,
out
Christian
last
Dewey.
time up, as he did lead off the 2nd inning. Dewey attended George Washington. That first pitch will be back for strike 1, as we're here in the top of the 3rd. And now we have an 0-1 pitch coming on the way as Romer making his first inning of work. That pitch inside, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-1 count with 1 out here, or no outs here. Top of the 3rd against Dewey. Again, Dewey 0 for 1 tonight. And right now, Romer trying to keep this a 4-run game. The 1-1 pitch on the way, and strike 2 called. That gives us a 1-2 count with no outs here. And now, Romer, 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on, hit for a repeat in the 1-2 count. Again, Nick Romer making his first inning of work, trying to give an extended outing, as tomorrow these two teams will face off in Charlottesville for Game 2. And the 1-2 pitch swung on, hit straight back. So we will redo the 1-2 count. And with 1 ball, 2 strikes, Romer still trying to put out Christian Dewey. And now the 1-2 pitch coming on the way. That'll go heading, and it will be foul. So with that, it'll give us another 1-2 count. Again, Dewey fighting to stay alive. Romer trying to get his first out and first strikeout of the night. As we'll get reset up. And now Romer gets set. The 1-2 pitch coming on the way inside, ball 2. Again, right now, Romer trying to keep this just a 4-run game. Trying to put the TomSox down in order. Looking for that first out. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back. So with that, that gives us a 2-2 count still. And right now, Dewey having a good 2-strike at bat, fouling away what he thinks are strikes and avoiding the put out. And now 2-2 pitch. Swung on, miss. Can't make contact there, and that is strike 3. And Dewey is down on strikes for outs number 1. And with that, that brings up catcher Dom Cattarello, number 26. Attended Georgetown. And that first pitch will be outside of ball 1. Last time Cattarello was up, he did single. And he did start off the monstrous second inning with that single with 2 outs as we get back-to-back balls. So that gives us a 2-0 count. And now Romer kicks and delivers. 2-0 pitch. Strike 1. And that is now a 2-1 count coming to Cattarello. Or no, he was the second hit of that big second inning as we get a 3-1 call. It looked. So now Nick Romer trying to avoid the 5-pitch walk. And the 3-1 pitch ends up being ball 4. So Cattarello will take first for the second time tonight. And with that, that brings up the number 9 hitter, Lucas Ream. Ream 0 for 0 with a walk. And Ring attending Shippensburg University. And now, first pitch swung on. That'll be fielded. Flipped on over to second for 1 on to first. Not in time, just barely. As Ream manages to stretch out. And it looked like a great opportunity for the double play. As it was great. Lawson to Williams. Throw from Williams to Hasler, just not in time. And it will bring up Xavier McCary, currently 0 for 1 tonight. Does have a ground out, but walked his last time up. Now with 2 outs, first pitch, that'll go foul for strike 1. And now we have an 0-1 count coming on the way with 2 outs. Runner is on over at first in Ream, who legged out a fielder's choice. So the 1-2 pitch inside, or 0-1 pitch inside ball 1. So it's now a 1-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the third. Romer takes a quick glance on over Reem. And now gets set. And delivers. Reem on the move. Strike call. Throw on over. That'll go into center field. And Reem will head on over to third. Strike. So we get a 1-2 count with 2 outs here. And Soft G's throw to Lawson ended up just being a little on the second base side, outside of Lawson's reach, and it allowed Reem to move up an extra 90 feet to third. But Romer is now 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. And now Romer gets set for the 1-2 pitch. Coming on the way. Swung on. That's going to go into center field. And it will land. Base hit. And it is 1 run in. And that will give us an RBI single. And it is now back to a 5-run game. As it is now 6-1 in favor of the TomSox. Again, right now, Nick Romer currently has gone 2/3 of an inning just looking for that final out. And the pitch outside, ball 1. So that gives us a 1-0 count. With 2 outs, again, runner on over at first in Xavier McCary. And the 1-0 pitch. In there, strike 1, and it is now a 1-1 count. As Romer will get set. 1-1 pitch on the way, runner on the move, ball, throw on over, that'll go back into center field, and it'll allow Xavier McCary to move on up an extra 90 feet to third. And that was a ball. So it is now 2-1 to Grayson McCullum. Grayson McCullum. Again, McCullum currently 0 for 2. Has a ground out and a fly out. And is in a 2-1 count. And the 2-1 pitch swung on. That'll be foul. So it gives us a 2-2 count. And again, it looked like Soft G took the brunt of that hit. Right now, the Braves catcher has gotten beat up a little bit. And now Soft G gets back ready to receive the 2-2 pitch. As right now Romer and the home plate umpire will head on over into position. As Nick Romer will get set. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, hit right back up the middle, and it'll get in. Base hit. And it is now 7-1 with a runner on over at first and 2 outs. So with that, that brings up Tommy Lansness. Right now, Lansness, I want to say 1 for 1, does have that ground rule double. And the first pitch will be in there. Strike 1. And we now have an 0-1 count. Nick Romer trying to get out of this inning before too much damage is done. Right now, a couple runs have added, and now we get an 0-2 count with runner on over at first. But the TomSox are good at one thing, and that is 2-out hitting. Can Romer get out of this inning? And he's 1 strike away from doing so. The 0-2 pitch swung on. That is fouled straight back. So we now get an 0-2 count again. Again, Nick Romer is pitching. Got first couple outs. And then since then has walked and given up a couple singles. And now the 0-2 pitch swung on, missed, strike three, and Romer gets out. So the inning is over, and now we head to the bottom of the third, where the Braves will look to claw back in some more. They're currently down 6, as we will have Soft-G, Vasquez, Lawson, Duop in the bottom of the third after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia. Currently, the TomSox do lead it 7-1 as we get set for the bottom of the third. First batter going to be number 46, Cole Soft-G, the catcher. Soft-G currently batting .207, .233 on base, has 1 homer and 5 RBIs. And the first pitch will go foul straight back for strike one. So that gives us an 0-1 count here with no outs. Again, this is the number 9 hitter, so we'll have Vasquez and Lawson do up as well as they did lead off the game. That pitch high and away, ball one. So we now have a 1-1 count coming on the way with no outs. Lucas Cash continuing to go his third inning. That pitch swung on. That'll be fly softly, and it is a diving catch by the second baseman, Compy, for out one. So with that, that brings up from Arkansas Pine Bluff, Valley League hitter of the week, Jose Vasquez. Again, Vasquez did win the final regular season hitter of the week honors, and the first pitch will be missed, ball one, and he's now in a 1-0 count. Again, last time up though, Vasquez did fly out. And now the 1-0 pitch in there for strike one. So that gives us a 1-1 count with 1 out. And again, Lucas Cash will get set and delivers 1-1 pitch on the way. That'll be hit straight back for foul. That gives us a 1-2 count. Again, right now, Braves are trailing by 6. And they're trying to claw back in like they did last time. And Both teams trying to start this series off strong with a win. The 1-2 pitch. High ball two to Vasquez. And that gives us now a 2-2 count. So Vasquez will now get set back up. Cash trying to get out number 2. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on. That is going to be high flying into straightaway center field. And the center fielder lands this, will make the catch for out number 2. And with that, that brings up number 35.
Now batting Max Lawson.
Max Lawson. Lawson is tended Longwood as he gets set for his second at bat after flying out to right field. And now the first pitch to Lawson. That is going to go high, fly into straightaway left field, and it is carrying back. And the catch will be made on over and left by Lucas Schreem for out number 3, and the inning is over. So the Braves score no runs off no hits, no errors were made, and no one was left on base. Coming up next, top of the 4th, where the TomSox looks to extend their lead with Combs, Harris, Campy after this quick break. And welcome back. Staunton, Virginia. Currently, the TomSox do lead at 7-1 here. Top of the 4th. New pitcher on the mound for the Braves from JMU, number 22, Trey Campos. Campos making his 13th appearance. Has gone 17.2 innings and has a 7.64 ERA. And the first batter he will face is Caden Combs. First pitch will miss, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count coming on the way. Again, Combs so far has back-to-back walks. And now the 1-0 pitch. Strike 1 called. And that gives us a 1-1 count with no outs here. And now Campos will get the hit foul. So that'll give us strike 2. And right now, Braves looking just to find a pitcher that can go extended innings. So it does look like maybe that pitch did hit Combs and shake him up a little bit, but it'll quickly get back in and get set for the 1-2 count. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. That's outside, ball 1. And that gives us a 2-2 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. And now the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, missed, strike 3. And Trey Campos gets the first out. And that'll bring up Aiden Harris. Harris currently has a 1-for-2 tonight. Doubled his last time up and has a flyout. And now the first pitch, that'll be hit sharply, fielded by the second baseman Williams. Throws on over to Hasler at first. 4 outs, number 2. And now Braves 1 out from putting the TomSox down in order for the first time. That'll bring up Campy. Campy 1-for-2 tonight, has a single, but struck out looking his last time up. And now Campos trying to put the TomSox down in order. That pitch, strike 1 called. So that gives us an 0-1 count with 2 outs here. Right now, Campos delivers the 0-1 pitch. That is hit going into straightaway right field for a base hit with 2 outs. So with that, that brings up Christian Dewey.
Now batting number 21, Christian Dewey.
Dewey currently 0-for-2 tonight. Struck out his last time up. Also has a flyout. And right now, trying to continue the trend of 2-out hitting by the TomSox. And the first pitch, in there, strike 1 called. And that gives us an 0-1 count with 2 outs. Again, Trey Campos trying to get out number 3. The 0-1 pitch, that'll be swung on in the dirt. And that'll end up going into right. And ends up taking second. So Soft G tried to throw out the runner at first, Campy. Ended up getting away from Hasler. So that allowed Campy to move up the 90 feet to second. And now the 0-2 pitch, that'll get away, and that'll allow Campy to move up another 90 feet to third. As we do get a ball 1. So now Campy, after back-to-back errors, 1 on the throw from Soft G, 1 just there trying to field the throw from Campos. And after what looked to be a very good first inning of work for Campos, ends up not paying off those 2 errors for the TomSox as that gets swung on and missed, and Dewey is down on strikes for the second time tonight. And with that, the inning is over as the TomSox score 1 run, and that will bring up in the bottom of the 4th, Melton Merrick Braga after this quick break as the Braves look to claw back in. And welcome back here in Staunton, Virginia, where currently the TomSox do lead 7-1 here in Game 1 between the Staunton Braves and Charlottesville TomSox, the 2v3 in the Valley League South. Leading off will be Brody Melton, who singled his last time up, but wasn't able to do much. And right now, Braves looking just to try and claw back in as the first pitch is in there for strike one. So that gives us an 0-1 count to Melton. Again, Melton 1-for-1. Tended Milligan this year. That pitch ends up missing low, ball one. So we now have a 1-1 count here to lead off the fourth. And again, Lucas Cash still out there. And that pitch high going deep into straightaway center field. And the catch will be made by Lansness for out one. And with that, that will bring up Jake Merrick.
Batting Jake Merrick.
Merrick struck out swinging his last time up. And Jake Merrick tended UAB. And that first pitch, strike one called. So that gives us an 0-1 count. We now have an 0-1 pitch coming on the way. That swung on, missed for strike two. And now Merrick trying to avoid back-to-back strikeouts. And the 0-2 pitch outside, ball one. And again, 1-2 strike. Lucas Cash has just about everything at his disposal. And the 1-2 pitch, if I can speak, ends up being high, ball two. And that gives us a 2-2 count with one out. And right now, Merrick just trying to get on base. And the 2-2 pitch, that misses, ball three. And just like that, after getting in an 0-2 count, Merrick has forced a payoff pitch. Now will Cash out and get the strikeout, or will he get the walk? That pitch outside, ball four, and Merrick has drawn the walk. And now the ball five chants have started.
Number 5.
That brings up Julian Braga. Tended Florida Southwestern and is currently 1-for-1 with a bragging home run to give the Braves their only run of the night. And now the first pitch outside, ball one, and that is the 5th straight ball thrown by Lucas Cash. And ball 6 chants are going out through the stadium. Again, Jake Merrick on over at first. The 1-0 pitch ends up being swung on and missed for strike one. And now it's a 1-1 count. As right now, Braves faithful clapping, trying to help get their team back into this. The 1-1 pitch, that swung on and missed for strike two. As it looks like Braga is trying to go yard again. Again, we have a 1-2 count coming to Braga, who so far scored the Braves' only run. And the 1-2 pitch coming on the way. That'll be hit and snagged by the first baseman. What a play, but it does advance Merrick on over to second. That was a heck of a play there by Caden Combs. And with that, that brings up Cooper Mars. Again, Mars grounded out his last time up. And Denison is where he played at this season, and he watches strike one. And now an 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Cooper Mars. And now the 0-1 pitch. That's outside. Ball one. And now we have a 1-1 count coming to the Braves left fielder. And Jake Merrick on over at second. And now 1-1 pitch swung on. That's straight back up the middle. And now Jake Merrick rounds third, heading on over to home. And never mind, he'll stay at third. So that gives us runners at the corners with 2 outs. And a good RBI opportunity for Keegan Hasler. Hasler 1 for 1. Tended JMU. And is again 1 for 1. Singled his last time up. And is trying to help the Braves get back into this game. As it is currently a 6-run game. Jake Merrick over at third. 90 feet away from scoring. And the first pitch is in there for strike one. Again, Jake Merrick is on over at third with Cooper Mars at first. And now the 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Hasler. And that is outside, ball one. And we now have a 1-1 count coming on the way with 2 outs. And again, Lucas Cash trying to get through 4 innings. That pitch is in there for strike 2. And now we have a 1-2 strike coming on the way with 2 outs. And Hasler trying to extend this inning. That pitch misses low, ball 2. And we now have a 2-2 count coming to the Braves first baseman with 2 outs here. And the Braves looking to try and get some 2-out magic. And the 2-2 pitch ends up being hit high, fly into straightaway left center field. And the catch is made actually by the left fielder, Ream, for out 3. So the Braves will score no runs off. 1 hit, no errors were made, and 2 were left on base. Coming up next, top of the 5th, as the TomSox look to try and extend their lead. Braves looking to try and keep this a 6-run game as they will face off against Catarello, Ream, and McCary after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia, where currently the Braves do trail at 7-6 here in the top of the fifth. Trey Campos still on the mound. Leading off will be Caparillo. Catarillo currently 1 for 1. Walked his last time up and has a single. The first pitch in there, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count. Coming on the way to the TomSox catcher. And the 1-0 pitch in there. Strike 1 called. And we now have a 1-1 count. As right now, Campos will get set. Kex delivers 1-1. That'll be swung on, hit foul. Strike 2. And Campos trying to continue a strong performance he had last inning. And Campos gets set for the 1-2 count. Kex delivers high, ball 2. So that gives us a 2-2 count with no outs here, top of the fifth. Again, Dom Catarillo is at bat, 1 for 1 tonight. Strike 3 caught, and he's now 1 for 2. So Trey Campos back-to-back strikeouts, and that gives us 1 out, no one on base. And that brings up Lucas Ream, number 9 hitter, did manage to reach on a fielder's choice last time up and faces Campos for the first time. That pitch going into left field, base hit. So first pitch swinging, first pitch base hit. That does turn the lineup over, giving us McCory. Currently 1 for 2 tonight.
Now batting, Xavier McCory.
Again, McCory 1 for 2 tonight. Flew out his first time up, then walked, then singled his last time up. And now the first pitch swung on, missed, strike 1. And we have an 0-1 count coming with 1 out. Runners at first in Lucas Ream. And a quick pickoff, not quite in time. Tried to get Ream sleeping over at first. And now Campos gets set, 0-1 pitch. And it's on the way outside. Looked like Campos may have slipped a little bit while making the delivery. Great job there by Sofji, getting outside to get it, or to catch it. And now Campos gets that 1-1 pitch. That's in there, strike 2. And now can Campos get the second strikeout of the inning? As we get set, Xavier McCory. In a 1-2 count. Campos kicks, delivers, swung on. That'll go into right field, base hit, and that will keep Ream on over at second. So with 1 out, we now have runners on first and second. And that brings up Grayson McCollum. McCollum currently 1 for 3 tonight. McCollum did single his last time up, has a ground out to first and also a fly out to first. And now the first pitch to McCollum inside, ball 1. Had to get skinny for that. Now we get set with a 1-0 count. And the 1-0 pitch coming on the way. That is outside, ball 2. Again, McCollum Singled his last time up. Single could potentially bring home the runner over at second. 2-0 pitch on the way, and there, strike one called. And we now have a 2-1 pitch coming on the way. So Campos gets set, 2-1 pitch, kicks, delivers, swung on, hit back, strike two. And now the 2-2 pitch. As we will get set. Again, so far, back-to-back hits from both Ream, who's over at second, and McCary over at first. That pitch swung on, missed, strike three, and that is out number two. So now, with 2 outs, Campos 1 out away from potentially getting out of this inning unscathed, and that brings up Tommy Lansness, currently 1 for 2 tonight. Does have the ground rule double. First pitch, strike one called. And now Campos seems to be feeling it after getting 2 strikeouts so far this inning. The 0-1 pitch swung on. That'll be a hit foul for strike 2. And we have an 0-2 count coming on the way with 2 outs. And now Campos 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Again, right now, Ream on over at second, McCary over at first. 0-2 pitch coming on the way. That will go all the way to the backstop, and everyone moves up 90 feet off that wild pitch, and ball 1. So we now have a 1-2 count coming on the way with 2 outs. Again, runners on over now at second and third. Third is Ream. McCary on over at second. And right now, Campos 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, sent right back to the shortstop, Max Lawson. 4 out, 3, and the inning is over. So 2 hits did not bring home any runs, and the TomSox still lead it by 6. Heading into the bottom of the 5th, where they try to claw back in with Hasler, Williams, Soft G coming up after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia, where right now Lucas Cash trying to make his 5th inning of work, but first he will face off Caleb Williams. So it'll be Williams, Sofji, Vasquez due up. And the first pitch to Williams will be in there for strike one. So now Williams trying. Again is quickly behind 0-2. Again, Williams trying to get on base, trying to give the Braves some sort of momentum to try and get back in as they are currently down by 6. And again, outs are coming at a premium as we get later into the game. And now the 0-2 pitch ends up being high, ball one. So it's now a 1-2 count with no outs here. It's still the first batter in the bottom of the 5th. And the 1-2 pitch, low, ball 2. And now Williams in a 2-2 count. Yang Cash so far trying to get through 5 innings. The 2-2 pitch swung on. That'll be fielded by the shortstop. McCary throws on over to first. In time, scooped from the dirt was Combs for outs 1. And with that, that brings up the catcher, Cole Sofji.
Now batting Cole Sofji.
Again, right now, Sofji currently 0 for 1. Flew out his last time up. And now Cash trying to get the second out. First pitch outside, ball 1. And we have into 1-0 count coming to the Braves catcher. And now the 1-0 pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. So that gives us a 1-1 count. And with 1-1 count, again, Braves trying to just get base runners on to get them home. 1-1 pitch outside, ball 2. So now Sofji in a 2-1 count. And Lucas Cash trying to avoid the walk. As we get the 2-1 pitch coming on the way. That'll be hit fouled. Now gives us a 2-2 count. So we have a 2-ball, 2-strike count coming to Sofji. Again, attended St. John's this season. And the 2-2 pitch to Sofji swung on, missed, strike 3. And that is out number 2. And with that, that brings up the number 1 hitter, leadoff hitter, Jose Vasquez, reigning Valley League South batter of the week. And he is currently 0 for 2 tonight. Right now, Lucas Cash has made good work so far. That pitch going, heading foul, and it lands. So we will now have an 0-1 count coming to Vasquez, the Braves center fielder. Again, we have an 0-1 count coming to Vasquez. Cash swung on. That'll be fielded. Muffled a little bit. Vasquez trying to run and not in time. Combs takes it to the bag himself for out 3. And that is the end of the 5th inning, where currently the TomSox do lead it 7-1 as they look to extend their lead with Combs, Harris, Campy after this break. And welcome back. Staunton, Virginia. Trey Campos making his third inning of work as we get ready here for the top of the sixth. First up to bat, Caden Combs. Combs currently 0 for 1. 2 walks and a strikeout so far.
Leading off, Caden Combs.
And right now, Campos trying to keep this a 6-run game, trying to keep it a little feasible, but the outs are coming here at a premium with only Braves down to final few outs. The 1-0 pitch coming. That'll be sent going into straightaway center field. Vasquez makes the jumping catch. We do get a double. It looks like Vasquez tried to make the jumping catch, ends up going just over it. So Combs gets the leadoff double. That'll bring up Aiden Harris. Harris currently 1 for 3, has a double, ground out, and a fly out so far. And will face Campos with no outs and a runner over at second. And now the pitch outside, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 pitch coming on the way with no outs. Again, right now, Caden Combs on over at second. And now that pitch, low, ball 2. That gives us a 2-0 count. Coming with no outs. Again, Campos trying to get out of it. The 2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. Right now, Campos trying to avoid the 4-pitch walk. And now Campos gets set. 3-0 pitch coming on the way. And that is inside, ball 4. So Harris draws the 4-pitch walk. And now we're going to get a quick mound visit before we'll get Campy to do up. Give you a time to tell you that the Valley Baseball League and Diabetes Reversal Group share a common belief that healthy communities are built through connection, education, and action. Diabetes affects millions of Americans, and DRG is on a mission to reverse that trend through evidence-based lifestyle programs, community outreach, and accessible healthcare education. Diabetes Reversal Group has helped thousands of patients hit it out of the park, achieving measurable, lasting reversal of type 2 diabetes through a proven, physician-guided program. If you'd like to learn more, don't forget to check out vbl.diabetesreversalgroup.com or check out on any of the 12 member team websites. Again, we do want to thank Diabetes Reversal Group for partnering with the Braves, and we are going to get a little bit of a rundown. Again, right now, they're going to get 1 out. And just like that, do get the out. What a play there. So I don't know what was called. Ball was called, so it's 1-0. And with that, that put Caden Combs down, but it did allow Harris to move on up to second. Again, Combs got trapped sleeping between second and third. And while he was in the middle of the rundown, Harris ended up taking second, leaving his teammate out to dry and away. The 1-0 pitch inside, ball 2. So that gives us a 2-0 count with 1 out here. Again, Aiden Harris on over at second. And now the 2-0 pitch. That's high, ball 3. And after a strong 5th inning, Campos right now struggling to find the strike zone. And now Braves fans chanting for the Braves. That pitch outside, ball 4. So that will put us with back runners at first and second with 1 out. And that will bring up Christian Dewey. Dewey currently 0 for 3.
21, Christian Dewey.
And it looks like that might be the end of Campos' night. Again, so far, gave up a leadoff double here in the 6th to Caden Combs, who later got tagged out in a run out. Aiden Harris was walked, and then Campy was walked. And that is the end of Trey Campos' night. Coming up after this quick break, the new pitcher for your Staunton Braves. And welcome back. Staunton, Virginia are currently the TomSox lead at 7-1. New pitcher on the mound from West Virginia, Sean Goldie.
Now pitching for the Braves, number 31.
Goldie is making his 5th appearance on the mound. Has gone 4.1 innings and has a 4.15 ERA. And now Goldie trying to get out of this 1 out, runners on first and second situation, throws a first pitch ball. Again, Campos ended up going 2 1/3 inning, gave up no runs, but gives Goldie runners on first and second. And Harris and Campy, that pitch will get in there for strike 1. So we now have an 1-1 count. With 1 out here. Again, Harris on over at second. Campy over at first. And now Goldie gets set. 1-1 pitch coming on the way. Outside, ball 2. And with a 2-1 count right now. Goldie trying to get out of it. That swung on, missed, strike 2. And now Goldie has a 2-2 count coming on the way to Christian Dewey. Again, Dewey 0 for 3 tonight. 2 strikeouts and a flyout. And now trying to get the hat trick. Swung on. That'll be right up. Quick throw on over second for one. On to not in time. So that'll just get the runner over at second with no play being made. So that gives us 2 outs. Runners at the corner as Dewey reaches on a fielder's choice. And that brings up Cattarello. Cattarello currently 1 for 2 tonight. Again, Cattarello 1 for 2 tonight. Singled his first time up, then walked and struck out his last time up. And now the pitch. That ends up being in the dirt. Ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count coming on the way with 2 outs. And right now, Jody gets set. The 1-0 pitch coming on the way. That'll be low in the dirt. Ball 2. So it's now a 2-0 count coming on the way to Cattarello. And the 2-0 pitch coming on the way. That's low, ball 3. And Goldie trying to avoid a bases loaded situation. And now Goldie gets set. 3-0 pitch coming on the way inside, ball 4. So bases are loaded with 2 outs. And that will bring up Lucas Ream. And we are going to get a pitch runner for Dewey. Can't quite see what that number was. Pitch runner be number 9, Bryce Neely. Attended a UVA last year, or the last baseball season, and will now take over for Dewey. And now the first pitch. That's going to be ball 1 to Ream. So we now have a 1-0 count. Again, we have Bryce Neely over at second, replaced Dewey. That pitch ends up being ball 2. And now 2-0 pitch coming from Goldie. That swung on, missed, strike 1. Again, we're going to have Harris on over at third. Bryce Neely over at second. And Cattarello over at first. That pitch swung on, missed, strike 2. And just like that, Goldie's in a 2-2 count after 2 balls thrown to Ream. Ream is currently 1 for 2 tonight. Has reached twice, though, once on a fielder's choice and then a single. That pitch is high, ball 3. And just like that, Goldie trying to prevent a walk home run, or walking home a run. And Goldie will get set for the payoff pitch. And pitch on the way, runners on the move. That'll be low, ball 4, and a run will score. So with that, that now makes it 8-1 in favor of the TomSox. And Ream will be walked for the second time tonight, and that will turn the lineup over to, I want to say, Xavier McCary. And the first pitch swung on, missed. Xavier McCary. So McCary now in an 0-1 count. currently at 2 for 3 tonight, has a ground out walk and then 2 doubles. And now the 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called, and just like that, Goldie 1 strike away from keeping this just a 7-run game. And trying to give the Braves still an opportunity. They were able to claw back from 7 runs the last time these two teams met. That pitch in the dirt gets all the way back, and everyone will advance 90 feet. So we get ball 1, and it is now 9-1. Again, so far, Braves have struggled against the TomSox. And it seems to continue here tonight. And now Goldie gets set. 1-2 pitch coming on the way, trying to get out of the inning. That'll be strike 3 called. And McCary down on strikes for the first time tonight. And the inning is over, but TomSox score 2 runs and leave 2 on base. Coming up next, bottom of the 6th, where the Braves will have Lawson, Melton, Merrick, due up. And the bottom of the 6th after this break. And welcome back. Staunton, Virginia, where currently it is 9-1 in favor of the TomSox. Up first, going to be number 14, Easton Ogle, replacing Max Lawson. So Ogle will make first pitch swinging. That'll be fly, shallow left field, and the shortstop will make it. That was McCary for out 1. So with that, that brings up, I want to say Brody Melton. Yep, number 18, Brody Melton. Melton 1 for 2 tonight. Again, Lawson ended 0 for 2 tonight batting. Ogle did replace him over at shortstop. That pitch in there for strike 1 to Melton. So an 0-1 pitch coming on the way to the right fielder. That swung on going into right center field, and it will land. Base hit, getting all the way down to the wall. Melton rounds first, heading on over to second. Throw will not be in time. 1-out double. And is that the spark the Braves need? And it looks like Melton will actually head on over to the dugout, and we will have Josh Hall heading on over to second as a pitch runner.
Pitch running at second base, number 11.
Be Jake Merrick, though, currently
John Moxie.
0 for 1. Has a walk or a strikeout and a walk so far tonight. So again, right now, Josh Hall on over at second. Pitch running for Brody Melton. The first pitch in there for strike one to Jake Merrick, the Braves' third baseman. This is right now game one of this 3-game series. Both teams looking to get that early win to where tomorrow isn't a must-win game. The 0-1 pitch outside, ball one. That gives us a 1-1 count. So Jake Merrick again 0 for 1 tonight. And Lucas Cash still on the mound. And the 1-1 pitch swung on. That's going to go into left or right center field again. It gets down, and they're going to wave Hall. Or no, they're going to keep him. And everyone will be safe after that 1-out single. And back-to-back hits. And now Julian Braga will step up. Braga currently 1 for 2. Has the home run in his first at-bat. And we're getting a mound visit, as there are pitchers in the dugout. Currently, and again, though,
in the 7th inning, it's Waynesboro 7, Harrisonburg 6.
Right now, Harrisonburg and Waynesboro, the winner of that series, will play the winner of this series. Waynesboro is leading Harrisonburg 7-6 in the 7th, so keeping an eye out on that game as well. And after that, quick mound visit will get set for Braga's third at bat. Again, right now, a good RBI opportunity, as it is currently an 8-run game. Braves trying to claw back in. And the first pitch to Braga swung on. That'll be a chopper fielded by the second baseman. Throw not in time, as Braga will reach on a fielder's choice, but that will score a run and give us 2 outs. That is now 2-9. So Braga reaches on a fielder's choice, and that brings up Cooper Mars. Mars currently 1 for 2, has singled his last time up. And now with it being 9-2, can the Braves get back in with it being a 2 or 7-run game? The first pitch to Mars is a ball 1. So we have a 1-0 count coming on the way. Mars 1 for 2 tonight. And that pitch is in there for strike 1. So it's a 1-1 count. Again, we had back-to-back hits by Melton, replaced by Hall, who did come around to score off a Braga ground fielder's choice. Now we have a 1-1 pitch coming on the way. That'll hit ground, and that'll be fair. And they're going to wave Braga going on over to third. Quick throw on over to third will be high. And we get a double. Runners second and third with 2 outs. And now the Braves getting some 2-out magic of their own as we get set for Keegan Hasler with runners on second and third in both Cooper Mars at second, Julian Braga at third. And the Braves looking to get back into it. It is currently still 2-9. And now Cash gets set. And the first pitch swung on. That's going to go straight away left field. And the catch is made by Reem for out number 3. And that is how the 6th inning will end, with the Braves scoring only 1 run off a few hits. No errors were made, and 2 were left on base. Coming up next, top of the 7th, where the TomSox look to extend their lead, and the Braves look trying to keep this just a 7-run game after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia. Here we are in the top of the 7th. Again, new first baseman. Braden Tchaikovsky's on over at first. Josh Hall is at third. Want to say Ogle is now at shortstop. That pitch will go foul. So that's strike 1 to McCullum. This is going to be the first one up. Say Hasler's on over in right field now as Goldie's trying to make his first full inning of work, and that'll get by base hit. So a leadoff base hit for McCullum. That brings up Tommy Lansness. We're going to get a ball change. So right now, runner on over at first, no outs. Goldie trying to keep this just a 7-run game. That pitch in there, strike 1 to Lansness. And now an 0-1 pitch coming on the way. Goldie kicks, delivers, swung on, that'll be hit, and that will go foul. So that'll be an 0-2 count. Now coming to Lansness, again on over at first is Grayson McCullum. Tommy Lansness is at bat. Lansness currently 1 for 3, a strikeout flat and a ground rule double, and is now 0-2 pitch in the dirt. That'll be ball 1. So it's now a 1-2 pitch coming on the way with no outs. And now Goldie will get set. 1-2 pitch on the way, trying to get the first out. That'll be outside ball 2. So again, 2-2 count coming on the way. I think just about everything is on Goldie's plate to pitch as he tries to get the first out of here in the 7th. And now 2-2 pitch. That will get in the dirt, ball 3. And after 2 quick strikes, we get 3 balls. And now Goldie trying to get the final strike or a potential ground out double play, both of which I'm sure he'd be glad with. So now Goldie will get set. And payoff pitch coming on the way. That will be ball 4. So runners on first and second with no outs. And with that walk, that'll bring up Caden Combs, I believe. But first, we're going to get a pitching change here, as it looks like Goldie will end up going only 2/3 of an inning after giving up a base hit and a walk here in the 7th. So after the break, the new arm for your Staunton Braves. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia. New pitcher on the mound, number 41, Owen Pincence. Pincence tending Sienna. Currently is making his 4th appearance. Has gone 5 innings and has a 9.00 ERA. And right now he does come up with runners on first and second. They are McCollum over at second, Lansness at first. Caden Combs is up to bat. And now the first pitch to Combs. That swung on, hit high, going into left center field, and Vasquez makes the it lands, and bases are loaded. So an outfielding mishap there ends up giving Combs a base hit, and bases are loaded for Aiden Harris. So what a bizarre play there over in left center field, as that had Vasquez, Mars, and Ogle, as we get a first pitch strike there to Harris. ended up falling between the three. So that gives us a base hit and bases loaded with no outs. And now the 0-1 pitch coming on the way. That'll be low, ball one. Now we have a 1-0-1 count coming on the way. Again, it looked like we would have had one out there with that high fly ball there by Combs. And we get a swing and miss for strike two. And now a 1-2 count coming on the way to Harris. And right now, Braves trying to get the first out. And 1-2 pitch coming on the way. Swung on, missed, strike three, and that is out number one. Owen Pinsons gets strikeout. And that will bring up
now batting
number one, Harrison Campy. Campy currently 2 for 3 tonight, has 2 singles, strikeout, and a walk. And now the first pitch coming on the way. That'll go snagged by Tchaikovsky. Takes it to the bag himself for the double play. What a catch. Big ol' 45. Brandon Tchaikovsky gets the double play himself, unassisted. And that is how you get out of a bases loaded jam. And with that, that will leave 2 runners on base with 1 hit and 2 hits, no errors were made. And now Braves down to their final 9 outs as they will have, I want to say, Williams, Sofji, Vasquez due up after this break. And welcome back. Staunton, Virginia, currently the TomSox lead at 9-2 here in the bottom of the 7th as the Braves are down final 9 outs. Leading off number 10 would be Caleb Williams. Williams currently 0 for 2 tonight. And right now try and spark some offense here. That first pitch will go fielded off the hop by the third baseman. McCollum throws on over to first in time for outs number 1. So first pitch swing gives us the ground out. And that brings up number 46, Cole Sofji. Cole Sofji currently 0 for 2 tonight, has a flyout and a strikeout. And now the first pitch, it will be high, ball 1. So we have a 1-0 count coming on the way with 1 out here to the Braves catcher. And now the 1-0 pitch swung on. That'll be a high fly ball heading into shallow center field. And the center fielder Lansness calls off everyone for outs number 2. And with that, that brings up Jose Vasquez. Vasquez currently 0 for 3 tonight, has a ground out and 2 flyouts. And again, right now, Braves needing some sort of offensive spark here in the 7th with 2 outs. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. So that gives us an 0-1 count. So we have an 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Vasquez outside, ball 1, and that gives us a 1-1 count. Coming again, 2 outs so far due to a ground out from Caleb Williams and a fly out from Sofji. And now the 1-1 pitch be strike 2. Again, so far, Lucas Cash has been money on the mound for the TomSox. Has gone 6 2/3 of an inning, giving up only the 2 runs. And now the 1-2 pitch on the way. That will hit inside for ball 2. Thought he might have hit Vasquez there, but it didn't. So it gives us the 2-2 count. Again, we have 2 balls, 2 strikes coming on the way. That's going foul, so we'll redo the 2-2 count. Up on next is going to be Ogle, if we get to him. And right now, a 2-2 count coming on the way. Here still, this is game 1. And that is high, ball 3. And Vasquez now in a full count pitch. So a payoff pitch coming on the way to Vasquez. And the payoff pitch swung on. That'll go foul. So we'll redo the payoff pitch. Right now, Vasquez trying to extend the bottom of the 7th, trying to bring home some runs. Lucas Cash trying to keep this just a 7-run game. That'll be sent going into left center field, and it will be caught by Ream for outs number 3. And the 7th inning is over. So coming up next in the top of the 8th, we are going to see Neely Catarella Ream due up in the top of the 8th as the TomSox try to extend their lead. And welcome back. Stay in Virginia, where currently Princeton still making his appearance on the mound. And again, first, I want to say is Bryce Neely.
Leading off is number 9, Bryce
Yep,
Neely.
Bryce Neely replaced Christian Dewey after Dewey did end up reaching second. And the first pitch to Bryce swung on and missed. Strike one. And right now, Braves trying to keep this a 7-run game as they are down to the final six outs. But right now, they just need it to keep it, and it starts here. And the 0-1 pitch coming to Neely. In there, strike two called. And that gives us an 0-2 count. Coming with no outs here, top of the 8th. And Princeton will get ready. And the 0-2 pitch coming on the way. That'll be ball 1. So after Neely gets into an 0-2 count, we get the ball. Again right now. Princeton will deliver the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Neely down looking. And with that, that brings up Catarella.
Now batting down, Caparillo.
With one out here right now, Princeton's trying to get out of it. The first pitch swung on. That'll be grounded. Fielded by Ogle over at shortstop. Throws on over to Tchaikovsky. 4 outs, number 2. And now with 2 outs, that will bring up Lucas Ream.
Now batting number 40, Lucas Ream.
Ream so far 1 for 2. Has 2 walks, reached on a fielder's choice, and a single so far tonight. And right now, the 2-out hitting has been what has driven the TomSox tonight. And he watches strike 1. Princeton and an 0-1 count to Ream. And now, 0-1 pitch coming on the way. The 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called. And now Princeton's 1 strike away from getting out of the inning with the 3 up, 3 down. Something that the Braves have struggled to do against the TomSox tonight. And now an 0-2 pitch coming on the way. Swung on, missed, strike 3, and that is out number 3. And now Braves head to the dugout, still down by 7, but maybe they can take that momentum and try to get back in the bottom of the 8th, where we will have, I want to say Vasquez. I want to say it'd be Vasquez, Ogle, Hall due up in the bottom of the 8th after this break. And welcome back here, bottom of the 8th. It'll be Ogle due up first. So far, flew out. And now the first pitch to Ogle is in there for strike one. Braves down to the final 6 out. And now Cash still on the mounds. That'll be hit. Grounder fielded by the third baseman. McCullum throws on over to first in time for out number 1. So Ogle grounds out to third base. And with that, that'll bring up Josh Hall.
Now batting number 11, Josh Hall.
Ian Hall did come in and replaced Brody Melton running. So this is his first at bat, and he will watch strike one. So we now have an 0-1 pitch coming on the way to Hall. And now the 0-1 pitch swung on, fouled back, strike two. And an 0-2 count coming on the way to Hall again. Right now, Braves down to the final 5 outs. And now Cash kicks, delivers the 0-2 pitch. That's outside, ball one. Again, we now have a 1-2 count coming to Josh Hall. Cash so far has gone 7 1/3 inning, trying to make it 8. The 1-2 pitch swung on, fouled back, so we'll redo the 1-2 pitch. Again, we have a 1-2 count coming. The story so far between these two teams has been here in July, where that is hit going, and it lands foul. Again, as I was saying, here in July, the Braves have really struggled against the TomSox. And so far, seems to be a similar path. But again, 5 outs, still plenty of baseball left for a chance. And now the 1-2 pitch swung on. That'll be a high fly ball heading into straightaway right field, heading all the way back to the wall. And it is off the wall. Hall will round second, heading on over to third. And it is a 1-out triple. So Josh Hall hits it hard, just missed it over in right field. And he is 1 for 1 tonight with the 1-out triple, and that brings up
now batting
number 45, Braden Tchaikovsky. And he does replace Jake Merrick in the lineup. Again, Tchaikovsky did make a fantastic defensive play as the first pitch to him will miss, ball one. Again, right now, Tchaikovsky coming in with 1 out, runner on over at third. The 1-0 pitch misses, ball two. Right now, Lucas Cash trying to get out of this inning, trying to keep it a 7-run game. As if the Braves back can get off, they can score some runs. That'll be grounded, fielded by the shortstop, throws on over to first. Will get Tchaikovsky, but he does bring home the run, as it is now a 6-run game, with it being 9-3, and that brings up Julian Braga.
Julian Braga, the batter.
Again, right now, Braga 1 for 3 tonight, has the home run. It did reach on a fielder's choice. That'll hit straight down, foul for strike 2, or strike 1. Right now, Braves down by 6, down to the final 4 outs. Braga has homered so far against Cash in his first at-bat. trying to do it again, trying to chip back any way possible. The 0-1 pitch, that will miss ball one, so it's now a 1-1 count coming with 2 outs in the home half of the 8th. As Braga will get set, Lucas Cash will deliver. 1-1 pitch, high away, ball 2. And now Braga in a 2-1 count. Again, last time up, Braga did hit into a fielder's choice. And now the 2-1 pitch on the way. That'll be hit foul. So we'll do a 2-2 count now with 2 outs. Again, right now, Braga trying to extend the inning here in the bottom of the 8th. And Cash delivers. That swung on and missed, strike 3. And the Braves will be down to the final 3 outs in the bottom of the 9th. But first, they have to keep this a 6-run game, as they will face off against McCary, McCullum, Lansness, due up in the top of the 9th after this break. And welcome back here, stay in Virginia. We're currently Braves trail it by 6 here, top of the 9th. No pitcher on the mound. Number 12 currently do not have a name, sadly. That pitch will be ball 1. So I'll try to look it up. Eric Davis, I think. No, wrong one. George Chevalier. Had the wrong lineup up when I said that. So again, George Chevalier making his first appearance and is in a 1-1 count. The 1-1 pitch swung on. That'll be hit foul. Strike 2. And right now, Braves trying to keep this a 6-run game to head into the bottom of the 9th, where they will look to try and take the lead or at least tie the game. Again, first batter, 54, is at the plate. There's the 1-2 pitch on the way outside, ball 2. Again, 54, Xavier McCurry is at the bat. Struck out his last time up. That pitch will be hit foul. So we now have a 2-2 count, and we'll redo it. Again, so far Mercury has 2 for 4 tonight. Has 2 singles, a walk, ground out, and a strikeout. Not in that order. And now the pitch outside, ball 3. So we now have a full count pitch coming on the way. And the payoff pitch coming to McCory. That'll be hit high, heading into shallow center field. Vasquez camps out under it for out number 1. And now Braves 2 outs away from heading into the home half of the 9th. That brings up Grayson McCollum. McCollum currently 2 for 5 tonight. And the first pitch swung on. That'll be hit. And Ogle can't quite get it, so we get a base hit off the error there by Ogle. That brings up Tommy Lansness. Yeah, right now, Lansness, though, walked his last time up. Currently 1 for 3. Hit a ground rule double. Has 2 walks, strikeout, and a fly out. As we get a strike 1 to the TomSox center fielder. Again, an 0-1 count coming on the way to Lansness. That'll be outside, ball 1. So it's now a 1-1 count coming. Again, right now, Braves trying to keep this a 6-run game. As if the bats get hot, they could take the lead, as they have scored 15 runs in an inning this season. That swung on, missed, strike 2. And now Lansness down to his final strike. So 1-2 pitch coming on the way to Lansness. And the delivery outside, ball 2. So that gives us now a 2-2 count. Again, right now, Charlottesville up 9-3 here, top of the 9th with 1 out. And the 2-2 pitch coming on the way, swung on, that'll be fouled straight back. So we'll redo the 2-2 count. Again, 1 out here. Double play could get us out of the inning. And now we get set for the 2-2 count. And deliver, swung on, that'll be hit foul. We'll redo it for a 3rd time. Again, right now it is a 2-2 count. TomSox up by 6 here, top of the 9th. Braves trying to get out of this inning. That'll be inside, ball 3. And we have a full count pitch. And the payoff pitch coming on the way. There was a quick glance on over. And that pitch hit foul. So a second payoff pitch coming to Lansness. Again, McCollum currently on over at first after an error on Ogle. Let him reach. And now the second payoff pitch on the way. Ball 4, so runners first and second with 1 out. And that will bring up Caden Combs. Combs currently 2 for 3 tonight, has 2 walks, a strikeout, a double, and a single. As we're going to have a quick word between Sofji and the pitcher. Again, right now, runners first and second. McCollum on over at second, Lansness at first. Caden Combe is up to bat. Again, this is game 1 of the 3-game series between the Charlottesville TomSox and the Staunton Braves. Game 2 will be tomorrow in Charlottesville. And the first pitch coming to Combs. That'll be in the dirt. Ball 1. Great job there by Sofji to stay in front of it, not allow any of the batter or any of the runners to move up. And it looks like we're going to have Coach Loss have a quick word with the catcher. And we get set for the 1-0 count. Again, right now, the Braves have struggled both at home and against Charlottesville as they ended the season 500 at home, 9-9, and ended up, I want to say, 13-5 or something like that on the road, as that is called strike 1. So it's now a 1-1 count. So right now, the 1-1 pitch coming on the way with 1 out here. And the 1-1 pitch, that's outside. Ball 2. Give us the 2-1 count with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Again, Caden Combs is up to bat. McCullum on over at second. Lansness at first. 2-1 pitch. That misses inside. Ball 3. And now the 3-1 pitch coming to Combs. Again, Combs did single his last time up. As we get set, 3-1 pitch coming on the way. Swung on. That'll be hit foul. So we'll get a full count pitch. And Sofji continues to get beat up a little bit back there. I want to say that was the 3rd ball that hit off a foul tip. And it looks like they're going to have the trainer come on out, have a quick talk, make sure that Sofji's okay. So we will get set for the full count pitch. And again with 1 out here. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Braves trying to keep this a 6-run game. A quick glance back to McCullum. Now pitch. Ball 4, and that gives us bases loaded with 1 out. And again, a ground ball still could get us out of the inning, but with back-to-back walks, that'll bring up Aiden Harris.
Now batting Aiden Harris.
Harris, so far, 1 for 4 tonight, has a flyout, a ground out, a walk, a strikeout, and a double. And we get set. First pitch to Harris. Outside, ball 1. That gives us the 1-0 count. Again, 1-0 pitch coming on the way with 1 out. Ground ball could get us out of the inning. The 1-0 pitch on the way. That is inside, ball 2. And right now, Braves just trying to keep this a 6-run game, make it tough but manageable, especially with how Cash has been pitching tonight, assuming he does come out. And we now have a 2-0 pitch on the way. That'll be ball 3. And now trying to prevent the 4-pitch walk, as that would also bring in a run. And the 3-0 pitch coming to Harris. That'll be ball 4 called. And that does walk home a run to now make it 10-3. So it's now a 7-run game, making it even tougher. And it looks like we are going to get a pitching change. So after that Aiden Harris walk, that'll be number 12's inning. Ended up only going 1/3 of an inning. So coming up after this quick break, the new arm on the mound for your Staunton Braves. And welcome back. Staunton, Virginia, where it is currently 10-3 here in favor of the TomSox. Again, game 1 of the Valley League playoffs. South Division between Charlottesville TomSox and the Staunton Virginias. Now pitching number 27 from Concord, Kevin Knight, making his 12th appearance. Has gone 10.1 innings and has a 2.61 ERA. And again, Campy will be his first batter. First pitch in there, strike 1. Knight does inherit bases loaded situation, as it is Lansness on over at third, Caden Combs at second, and Aiden Harris on over at first. And now the 0-1 pitch, that misses ball 1. So we now have a 1-1 count coming on the way with 1 out. Again, it is a bases loaded situation. And now Knight delivers 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on. That is going to go. And it lands. And they're going to get 1 run across, but a second out on over at second. And it is now 11-3. So we do get the base hit, and that brings up Bryce Neely. I want to say Neely struck out looking his last time up. And right now, Braves trying to keep this an 8-run game, as it is going to be tough with 3 outs. First pitch high, ball 1. That will give us a 1-0 count to Neely. Again, Knight came in with a bases loaded situation. And now the 1-0 pitch on the way. That'll be in the dirt, ball 2. So we now have a 2-0 count. Coming, Neely again, 0 for 1 tonight. Came in replace of Christian Dewey. And is now in a 2-0 count. Knight trying to get out of this inning. 2-0 pitch coming on the way. Strike 1 called. And that is now a 2-1 count. Knight, again, 1 out away from getting out of this inning and putting the Braves in an 8-inning if they want to try and tie the game. 9 if they want to win. Runner on the move. Outside, ball caught, and no throw will be made. So we get ball 3, runners second and third. Again, on over at third, I want to say is Combs, with Campy on over at second after he steals it. And now a 3-1 pitch coming on the way from Knight to Neely. Strike 2 called, and now we have a full count pitch after Neely tried to sell ball 4. And now Knight, 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. As Knight will get set. Kicks, delivers, payoff pitch. Ball 4, bases loaded again. So with that, that'll bring up Cattarello.
No battery, please charge.
Again. And the first pitch to Cattarello will miss, ball 1. So we now have a 1-0 count coming on the way. Game right now, Dom Cattarello, 1 for 3, single, strikeout, ground out, and 2 walks. The 1-0 pitch on the way. That misses, ball 2. And now Knight is in a 2-0 count. Still needing just 1 out. This is where the TomSox have strived against the Cavaliers. Or against the Braves. 2-0 pitch on the way. That's in there. Strike 1. We now have a 2-1 count coming on the way. As we get set, 2-1 pitch swung on. That'll be a grounder out top. Ogle fields it. Quick throw on over to Tchaikovsky. Out 3. And the inning is over. So coming up, bottom of the 9th, Braves down. Final 3 outs, as they do need 8 runs in order to tie, 9 to win. Can they do it? We will find out after this break. And welcome back, Staunton, Virginia. New pitcher on the mound for the TomSox from Randolph-Macon College. We have Lucas Alvarez. As the first pitch, I want to say, was called a strike. The 0-1 pitch, that'll be grounded. Fielded by the third baseman. Throws on over to first for outs 1. And now Braves down to the final 2 outs. As that was Cooper Mars that grounded out. That'll bring up Keegan Hasler. Right now, Braves trying to extend the game as much as possible. And the first pitch to Hasler, that'll go fielded by the second baseman, Campy, for outs number 2. And just like that, that brings up Caleb Williams. Williams is going to represent the final out for the Braves here currently in game 1. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Again, this is a 3-game series, so tomorrow they will play over in Charlottesville for game 2. And now the 0-1 pitch. That's outside, ball 1. That gives us a 1-1 count. And now the 1-1 pitch coming on the way. That is inside, ball 2. Williams had to duck out of the way of that. Again, right now, Williams is 0 for 3 tonight. And now that'll be fouled back, 2-2. And the Braves are down to the final strike. Again, tomorrow could be a big game, as it could determine the season. That'll get fielder heads right over the pitcher, but a throw on over to first is still in time, and that is out number 3, and the game is over. So the TomSox take game 1 by a score of 11-3, and tomorrow night the two teams will play each other for game 2, elimination game. Braves trying to stay alive in the Valley League South. And coming up, though, two teams did great. And tomorrow night will be a big game for multiple teams, as there were multiple Valley League teams tonight. But that'll do it here for us in Staunton. Again, final score 11-3. And I'm Conrad Spangler saying good night and go Braves tomorrow against Charlottesville.